Hi, I wanted to cover how you do collections in Zoho using the various reports and features they have. But first, let me explain why we need to consider alternative methods. The way in which we calculate accounts receivable for the ADMP purposes is through the balance sheet. We click that, and then we click the amount under accounts receivable, and then whatever comes up eventually, soon, someday, there you go. Whatever comes up is a list of all the accounts receivable transactions and activity, meaning it's all the pluses and the minuses. So it's going to include all the unpaid invoices, paid invoices, payments, credits, applied credits, unapplied, whatever. Because in this report, all we care about is a number at the bottom, because that's all ADMP cares about. On this report, it has the feature which allows us to filter by CFP and non-CFP, different revenue types, non-recurring, recurring, whatever period, whatever area, and whatever UF we want. Great features and essential to calculating ADMP because we have to distinguish between CFP and non-CFP. But the problem is you can't use this for collections because 95% of it is paid invoices. You would have to go one by one trying to figure out on this 50-page report which are the collectible invoices. So instead of that, there are two methods I recommend. One is a native report pre-built into Zoho Books under Reports called Aging Details. All you have to do is click it, no filters necessary, and that's a good thing because the filters they do provide aren't really many or much. As you can see, CFP, non-CFP is not even an option. You can group it by customer if you want, or currency, or whatever. So if you don't group it at all, it'll look like this. It'll just say, okay, these guys are 45 plus days. This is the customer, how many days, the original amount, the balance due. These guys are in the 31 to 45 category, etc., etc. If you click on any of these invoice numbers, it'll show you the invoice. If you click on any of these customers, it'll show you the customer record. If you click on any of these numbers over here, it too will show you the invoice because only one invoice makes up each line on this report. So you can change the report if you don't want to see it by past due categorization, meaning grouping. You can group it by customer and then run it, and that will show you the same report with the same invoices and the same balances, but per customer. And in each customer, it'll show you that they're 31 to 45, 1 to 15, current. You wouldn't call the current, obviously, but it'll show you if you want to do it. If you want to make one call to each customer saying, hey, I see these two invoices are past due for you, blah, 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 blah. Whereas the other report where you didn't group it, if you want to go back to that, I'll show you, with no grouping, it doesn't do that. You can sort it by customer, because when the report comes up, you can click customer name and it will sort it by the customer. So everybody in the 45-day category will be sorted by customer. But if this customer IMI has somebody down here in the other category, you won't sort it up here because this is the primary sort, the past due days, and then the secondary sort, which is the customer name. If you want all the customer's transactions at once that you want to collect on, you got to go back and group it by customer like I did a second ago. Another benefit of this report is you can schedule it, which means you can say, hey, I want you to send it every week or every day or I don't know, whatever frequency you want to whoever you want, whoever the users are in your city or your employees or whatever. And send it as a PDF, a CSV, an Excel file, whatever. PDF is probably all you need, or CSV. Or don't even worry about it. I mean, we have unlimited users. You can just give them a login where they can just do this if you wanted to, and they can just do collection calls. And this is all they could see that way, and the customer data, so they can get the phone number. If you click on any of these customers, by the way, you will get that customer's record, which will then give you the phone number, the contact person. You can obviously go see any sales history there, any notations, whatever. So we're not going to do that because that part is easy. But back to the report, that's one method. An alternative method, if you go back, well, before I show you the alternative method, there are other reports here which are somewhat useful, like customer balances will show you the total balance per customer. If you click the amount of the balance, it'll show you what invoices make that balance up. It's kind of like the aging receivables report, except it's a couple extra clicks to get to the same invoice info that you want, that you get immediately with the aging details. Okay, so that's one method. The other method is you could go to sales, invoices, and it'll be just a dump of all the invoices, but you can customize it to anything you want. Partially paid invoices, totally unpaid invoices, or all overdue invoices, which is a combination of unpaid and partially paid. So like if I click unpaid, this is all the unpaid. It didn't change because I was already on that. So if I click partially paid, it'll show me only the invoices which have a partial payment. As you can see, they paid $1,100. They short paid it for some reason, whatever. Point is, if you go to if you go to overdue, if you go to overdue, it'll give you all the invoices, and here you can sort it by customer, sort it by due date or status, meaning how many days is past due, or amount or balance due, or whatever you want. There is a place where you can add more columns, but you can't add things like CFP and non-CFP, the custom fields, so it's really no point in adding more columns. And that's basically it. If you click the invoice, it'll bring up the invoice from which you can get the customer's number and all that stuff. The other report, I think, is the better of the two ways, the aging details, because on there you can click the customer name or the invoice number to go direct to whoever you want. Plus you can group it by customer, you can sort it by customer, or group it and sort it by whatever you want. I think this is far more versatile and flexible for making collection calls. So anyway, in a nutshell, that's how you should do collections. Don't use the ADMP reports that we use for collections. That's just for calculating ADMP. Use the aging details and sort it and group it however you want. It's fresh every day. You can even email it to yourself automatically if you want, or go to invoices under sales and just do it there. Personally, I don't recommend that. I think this is the more flexible and better way. So if you have questions, just ask.